The government has announced its latest round of stimulus measures, the HomeBuilder Grant, and it comes as no surprise that this is focused on the building and construction industry. Since February, new home sales are down over 24%, dwelling approvals have been falling, and this is a real issue because the building and construction industry makes up 9.1% of our workforce, which is the third largest industry. If the building industry falls, not only will it increase our unemployment, but it'll put downward pressure on property prices, which will put the banking system in a precarious situation. Something that we really want to avoid. But I'm not here to talk about the impact of the construction industry on the economy. I'm here to talk about the new HomeBuilder Grant. As always, I'm going to outline the facts of how this new grant works and then give you my opinion as to whether or not you should be using it. Hello guys, Brad here from The Guided Investor. Welcome back to the channel for another video. If you're new here, consider hitting that subscribe button because I post regular videos about how you can do more with your money. Today we're talking about the federal government's new HomeBuilder Grant, which is a payment of $25,000 if you build a brand new home or if you substantially renovate an existing property. The grant only applies to owner-occupied homes, so you can't build an investment property or renovate an investment property, and it only applies to contracts which were signed between the 4th of June this year and the 31st of December this year. For first home buyers, this grant is going to be in addition to the existing benefits you get as a first home buyer. So this includes stamp duty concessions, existing first home buyer grants, the First Home Buyer Super Saver Scheme, and the First Home Buyer Loan Deposit Scheme. So if you're a first home buyer and you're planning on building a house, I'll put up a table now with the maximum potential grants that you can get based on the state that you live in. Now this Home Builder Grant isn't just for first home buyers, it's for everyone. And of course, there are eligibility requirements that you need to meet in order to get the grant. So let's look at those now. To be eligible to get the HomeBuilder Grant, you must meet the following requirements. You must be 18 or over and an Australian citizen. It must be an owner-occupied property. The building contract must be signed between the 4th of June 2020 and the 31st of December 2020, and construction must start within 3 months of the contract date. The grant is subject to an income cap limit. This cap limit is based on your gross income from the 2018-19 financial year tax return and varies depending on whether you're single or partnered. The cap limits are as follows: $125,000 per annum for an individual or $200,000 per annum for a couple, which is combined income. When building a new principal place of residence, the property value cannot exceed $750,000. When renovating an existing principal residence, the renovation cost must not be less than $150,000 and not more than $750,000. The value of the property cannot exceed $1.5 million. Renovations must be completed by a licensed or registered builder and must improve the accessibility, livability, and safety of the property. So it does not cover tennis courts, pools, or sheds. If you meet the eligibility criteria, the HomeBuilder Grant will be paid by your local state or territory, and it is a tax-free payment. If you are planning on building a new home, or if you already had renovations which you're planning on doing and you're eligible for the grant, then great, go for it. After all, why would you turn down $25,000? My issue with this type of grant, or any payment with housing really, is that it tends to push up prices. If people are given extra money to go towards the cost of these things, then it's likely that the cost of the land and the cost of the building is going to increase. Now, at the end of the day, this does achieve the government objective of supporting property prices, but it doesn't really do anything for affordability. However, that is a bit of a moot point as the grant is already in force, so therefore it's better that we consider the use of the grant rather than the viability of the grant. If you're looking at buying a house and you're indifferent as to whether or not you want to buy an established house or if you want to build a new house, then in my opinion, $25,000 isn't enough to sway your decision to build rather than to buy an established. There are many costs with building a house, and when you own a property, you can essentially split the value of the property between two things. You've got the value of the land and you've got the value of the house that sits on the land. And now when you build a house, you typically tend to spend a lot more on the building that sits on the land, which is a depreciating asset, and less on the land itself, which is an appreciating asset. So for me, I personally like to buy established houses. Now I understand that some people prefer a new house than an existing house, and at the end of the day, that's cool too. This is more of a lifestyle decision than it is a financial decision. And if you're in a financial position which is strong enough in order to build a house because that's your preference, then by all means go for it. All I'm saying is you shouldn't let the $25,000 grant sway your decision between buying an established property to building new, because the monetary incentive is just not big enough. With the renovations, again, use the grant if you were already planning on doing these renovations. Because I mean, a $25,000 grant on a $150,000 renovation, it's basically like getting a 16% discount on your renovation cost, which is nice, but it's not enough to really sway your decision. All in all, I think the HomeBuilder Grant will achieve the government's objective in order to support the building and construction industry, and I think that it is going to help to support property prices during these crazy COVID times. But as a consumer, it's not enough money in order to sway me to build a new home or do renovations that I otherwise weren't going to do. However, there is talk of state governments also putting in their own type of grant. So I mean, we've got to keep watching this space because things may change pretty quickly. But that's it for me today, guys. I hope you like this video. Leave a comment down below letting me know if you're planning on using the grant yourself, and I will see you guys in the next video.